Hey, I'm Orla from your Women's Gear Review channel, and today we are reviewing the Bellroy Lite Sling. In this review, we have gone ahead and sectioned it off into a wee summary, features, fit check, and comfortability, see how it feels on the female body. We're going to do a water test, pros and cons, and then round out the video with some final thoughts. And of course, if there is anything that we have missed about the sling that you would like to know, then just pop us a wee comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Okay, let's get cracking on with the summary. So this is priced at £85 and it is made up of diamond ripstop with Duralite nylon and Duralite ripstop. So the dimensions are 15 by 31 by 11 in centimeters, and it is a capacity of 7 liters, and the colors come in grey, black, ash and clay. So in terms of the kind of shape and style, I have to say this is my least favorite out of the slings that I have been testing from Bellroy at the minute. My favorite right now is definitely the light belt bag and also their laneway belt bag as well. It's definitely a bit more compact for me. This is a 7 liter, so it is a bit bigger, but it's nice for an alternative instead of using like a backpack or anything. Then you can just opt for this kind of stylish sling that you just can fire a bit more thicker items into there, such as your water bottle and your headphones, which I have in here and we'll get into in a minute. There is plenty of flexibility with this, so you can kind of compact it right out. The only thing is it does kind of take to that shape. So as you can see, what I have in here, it just kind of forms to it. It's not really like a boxy style. You could see the positive in that you can max it out, which is really nice. And they've also gone ahead and made sure that they've kept in theme with their kind of backpack as well. So this pairs well with their transit work pack, the color, which is nice because I do have that and own that backpack. So it's a nice wee pair. Bellroy do offer a 3-year warranty, 30-day returns and exchange, and they do ship worldwide. I highly recommend going over to our channel and checking out our Bellroy kind of section. If you just type that into the search bar, then a few of our reviews will come up, so you can check out more on their slings and kind of crossbodies. I highly recommend checking out the light belt bag. Okay, time to get cracking on here with the features. So in terms of the branding, Bellroy like to keep it quite subtle, but whilst knowing that you are getting a Bellroy product, you have just Bellroy here on the front, and then it is implemented onto the hardware as well. And then inside the bag, you kind of have like a little bit of motivational speech here, which says, "Light, the bag is designed to go with twists, turns, leaps and bounds for years to come." So externally it is quite simple and to the point. You do have the strap here, and on the strap you do have these external kind of lip points here, which I've opted to place on my hair clip. It's handy enough if you do have like the bigger headphones that I have in the main body of the bag. If I'm not having them in there, then I will extend it out here, and also you could kind of lip around a jacket or anything else that you could kind of fit around these two holes. This is a seatbelt kind of material strap here. It's nice to just kind of adjust. I don't know if I'll pick it up on camera, but my pup managed to get to this strap, so now her teeth marks are embedded into it. Just a wee personal touch. So if you do have any dogs, then they will chew on this. And you can just adjust it like so, which we'll get into a bit more when we go into the fit check throughout this video. It is that magnetic close, which is super duper durable, but I'm just not a fan of it at the minute. I'm really preferring the kind of clickable ones here. But I have to say, through testing, especially with their light bag and also their laneway, I find no issues with that. It's just down to preference. So moving on to the front pocket here, what I absolutely appreciate that Bellroy have implemented is the fact that they've coated both zips. They've not just left one out. They've left one out on their belt bag, which I just think if you're going to go to the efforts of placing one on the front, then you might as well just do it on the second one as well. So I do appreciate that on this one, which is super nice. And they've implemented like a little flap as well, so when it's not completely packed out, then you can kind of hide the zip. The pillar on the front here is different to the custom kind of pillar that they have here. It's just a kind of seatbelt one. It does have a little bit of a lip hole, which is nice to just help you maneuver that a bit better. Whereas this one is a bit like a tog. I do prefer this, and I love the kind of implementing of keeping on with the design here, and they've implemented a nice bit of color, so it just makes it pop. Out front, lovely hardware YKK zippers. You know that's going to run smoothly. Inside, I have opted to place a wee charger in there. They do have a key latch, which is great. Now that just attaches inside. It's not detachable, so it's implemented into the fabric here. But that's just nice to note that you have that. It is a clicked one, which is super nice. I do love sometimes when they have the rotational one, so it just spins with it, but nonetheless that is there, and it's handy enough to just, if you are packing out this front pocket, then you can just fire these on in. Inside is the easy clean material, which is super great for just the water weather resistance and easy to clean. Inside is two smaller pockets. I've opted to place a wee mirror in there, that is mirror, which is handy, and I like to place my lip balm in there as well, and other just smaller items that I need quicker access to. I have to say the two wee pockets are just a wee bit flimsy. There is no real like pattern or structure to them, so sometimes I just opt to chuck everything into this front bit and be on my way. I don't really care for the organization. I think it probably could have done without it. Then inside is just space, and then, you know, as mentioned, the kind of flexibility just forms to the shape here. I should mention on the front here, you do have a little loophole. You could add on a bike light or anything that you kind of want to add on here. That is nice to have that, especially if you are using this for riding your wee bike. Have this on your back, put your little bike light on, and yeah, you'll be seen. Then moving on to the back, you do have a two-way kind of zip here, right? I am not a fan of this. Now that just overcomplicates everything for me, and I'm just, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you are a fan of those kind of two-way zips. To me, no. Because then when you open up the bag, you've got this lovely flap here that opens up nicely, but then you're restricted on the other side. So then it just opens like awkwardly. I would just rather it open up and then have those two flaps, but maybe that's saving you from it all falling out. I don't know, it's just not a bit of me, but nonetheless you do have that kind of expansion here if you wanted to use it, and it just kind of opens it up. Maybe that's what it does, it just opens it up a bit more for you to kind of expand it out if you want to tuck that in. Just personal preference, not a fan. Then inside I've opted to place those headphones there. If they're not in there, then I kind of loop them around this side here, which is nice and handy to know because it's easy for on the go. Then you can fit a 500ml water bottle in there as well. And inside it's still that easy clean material. I do love the bright interior, and I love when a brand goes ahead and does that because it just makes all the difference for seeing what you have in there. Then it expands out, as mentioned, with those two flaps. It just opens it up a bit more. You can kind of get the front pocket implemented into this pocket because of the flexibility. It all kind of pushes in towards one another. The organization is minimal. Love it. So you've got one zip pocket that is kind of padded. It's not a mesh pocket, but kind of like that tenty material. That's all I call it, but like a water resistant kind of style. They've not put on like the coating here on this zip because why would you when you have that on the top? So I understand. And again, this kind of pillar is the same as the one on the front, so just easy to maneuver. You can also place your passport in there, some security, and just again, some space. So you have really got the range then to just pack this up how you want. It is just simple to the point with a lot of space for you to do that. On one side, you do have a wee compartment here for a little pocket. If you wanted to place anything in there when you have that extension opened, I never opt to do that. I just find it a bit awkward, as mentioned. Then on the other side, you do have your air tag in here. So if you wanted to place that in there and then, God forbid, anything happened to your bag, then you can track it on down. That really is just it. Kind of simple, to the point, easy to swing around, reliable. All the kind of stitching and everything is well implemented and put together. I do love the flexibility with this. Just preference for me, I do prefer their little compact one. Whereas if I am going for like a bigger one, then maybe something like Coat of Bell, or what was the other one that I was testing? Or like Stubble & Co.'s, their kind of sling as well. That's something I prefer a bit more in terms of like the material, but this nonetheless gives you a lot of room to play with. Okay, time for a wee fit check, comfortability, and see how this feels on the female body. So this is it on front, how I like it with it being so kind of bulky. I like to have it under the old girls here and more like my child, rather than right up here, because then it just extends out and it's just not a look for the ladies. I do also love having a sling now around this way, and as mentioned, you can kind of adjust it to your own building height, 2 seconds. So that is kind of how I prefer it around here. This is what it's like. I mean, it's not the most comfiest in terms of like the seatbelt material, especially if you are wearing a smaller kind of like stringy top. Then it can be a bit like rubbing, but it does curve around me boob, which is nice. This is what it looks like on me. For reference, I am 5'6". I have to say, this kind of sling, especially if it is a 7 liter, I do prefer having it on my back. Maybe slightly tighter up as well. But that's good that you can kind of adjust that too. For the water test, as you can see, the water is grand with this bag, especially when you have those kind of coated zips. Then it just makes it a bit more easier and a lot less risky for water to seep in. The only kind of moments that it will hold on to a bit longer but will dry quite easily is the seatbelt material. Okay, time for some pros and cons. The main pro for me is definitely that this is a lot lighter than most slings. They've gone ahead and implemented that, so it means when you are packing around and you have it on your back, using it day to day, it's not going to get overly heavy and you still have lots of space to play with. It definitely is an alternative. Instead of lugging a huge backpack about, with this 7 liter, you do get enough space, as I have been reiterating, and the flexibility, so you can just pack it up. But for me anyways, it's not my vibe. I do like, and plenty of people will like as well, is the kind of minimal design. There is no real overwhelming organization. It is to the point. Some cons to think about. I don't know if it has picked it up here, a little bit of dirt. It just takes a bit of effort to clean. It can feel a little bit cheaper in the material than their Venture bag, which has that bit more of a crinkled effect. If you are placing any kind of camera gear or equipment in there, then I would definitely pad up, as there is padding, but it's not sufficient enough, especially for those kind of tech gears. Also, personal preference, I don't like the two-way zips. And for durability, my dog got to that in 0.2 seconds and did damage within those 5 seconds. So I do wonder how long these straps will last, but maybe just they won't last in the presence of a dog. So that is the end of our review. We hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then why not consider joining the GBO community and hitting that subscribe button. If you do happen to have a wee gander on their website and you're thinking about purchasing this sling, any of their other bags, then we would be forever grateful if you could use the links below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!